Hello, everybody. Welcome to the press room. It's been a while, other than when I announced the Dow Jones breaking 30,000. Hello, fake news CNN. Hello, fake news MSNBC. Oh, and let's welcome to the club the newest fake news member, Fox News. Fox News. So sad. I made you people so much money, and you screwed me by calling the election for Joe Biden. I won't forget. But I'm not here to talk about the stolen election or the Dominican voting machine scam, which was masterminded by Hugo Chavez before he died in 2013. He may have been a horrible socialist later, but he knew one day I would be president, the greatest president, and how the CIA would try to stop my re-election with hammer and scorecard software. And honestly, I was really good to the CIA. I gave them a lot of money. But this is Thanksgiving, folks, and I am not going to talk about voter fraud, Smartmatic, vans full of illegal votes for Biden, or anything Sidney Powell said, who, by the way, was never on our legal team. But she was fired from our legal team, even though she was never part of the legal team, if you know what I'm talking about. I just need to make that very, very clear. I never paid her a dime, or Rudy for that matter. Now, I have to tell you, Sydney is nuttier than squirrel poop. Sydney would just show up on Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, even fake news, MSNBC and CNN, and spreading these insane conspiracy theories, which I totally agree with, like an entire graveyard in Atlanta that rose from the dead and voted for Joe Biden, then walked back to their coffins. I mean, I heard it smelled like hell. But Sydney, wow, I have to tell you, I mean, the lights are on, but nobody's home. She would just show up at press conferences and steal the mic from Rudy, the way this election was stolen from me. Votes were sent over to Germany and to Cuba and Spain and, of course, China. Terrible people, the Chinese. Great takeout, terrible people, and they have our votes. I've got to keep this short today. My tea time's coming up very quickly. When we're done here in the press room, we're going to head outside for the Thanksgiving Day tradition. Melania is going to be there. The real Melania, not the fake Melania, who, by the way, the fake Melania is significantly younger and actually smiles a lot. Thanksgiving is an important holiday. The Pilgrims came to the United States for religious freedom, which they could not get in their own country. Pilgrim stand. So they set sail with the great Christopher Columbus. Great guy, by the way, great guy. He dropped them off here in America while he was looking for Tommy Bahamas. He said, "You can be free here, Pilgrim." And that is why the great American actor John Wayne started saying Pilgrim in all of his films. They arrived here rightly with paperwork for eminent domain. But the Indians, what's that, Kaylee? Oh, Native Americans. And by the way, the Indians, the Indian Indians love me. They love me. The ones from India. I was over there, and they had a rally for me in the stadium. It was insane. Over 100,000 Indians. Biggest gathering ever to see me, the greatest president in the history of presidents. The entire stadium smelled like curry and BO, but it was, I have to say, it was impressive. But those Indians are not these Indians, which are Native Americans who, by the way, are doing very, very well with the casino business. Very well. Believe me, no one knows casinos the way I know casinos. Okay, I bankrupted 3 of them, and they made a lot of money for me, a lot of big league money for me. And the Native Americans, are doing it on their own sovereign land, which is a bad deal. I mean, I never would have allowed sovereign nations for Native Americans. No way. That is up there with the horrible Iran nuclear deal. The Native Americans should be paying us. They should be paying us. They're making all this money. They don't pay taxes. All right. Also, they would not let me partner with them on a Trump-branded casino in Fresno. So, not happy about that. They're all millionaires now, so I don't want to hear any of this crap about poor reservations. They're millionaires. So anyway, the Pilgrims get here and just want to take over the land, which is they're entitled to because they're smarter. They went to better schools. They have real money, not like bones and things like that, and they're better dressed. The natives were like living in tents, and they were naked. Half naked anyway. And they were like, no wampum, no wampum. But the Pilgrims said, we have eminent domain. But the natives didn't know what the hell they were talking about because they didn't have good attorneys. Like me, I don't have a good attorney either, Rudy. But the Pilgrims did. They had good attorneys. So they said, let's make a deal. They were great deal makers, like me, great deal makers. And we'll have a big dinner to celebrate. That's what they said to the Native Americans because they were smart. They were smart. They were Pilgrims. And they were very smart and very conservative Republican Pilgrims. Basically, they were MAGA. Out of the gate, they just didn't need the again part on their hats. It just said, make America. That's all they needed, make America, because it was just starting. And the Pilgrims went out hunting, and they were looking for chickens and cows, but the chickens hadn't been born yet, and the cows hadn't been invented yet. In the United States, we have the best cows. We have huge cows, the best farmers, which I gave over $38 billion to because they saw these other things, not the farmers, but the Pilgrims. They saw these big, unattractive birds, and the Native Americans let the Pilgrims know they did not want to mess with turkeys. That's what they were called, turkeys, because they said the turkeys were left-leaning, and they were far left. These were radical, democratic Antifa turkeys who were very well armed, very well armed. The Antifa turkeys were dressed in full black, and they were armed to the teeth. These turkeys, armed to the teeth. And you couldn't tell because of the feathers and the wings and that thing that hang down from the face. But these turkeys had muskets and knives and, of course, nunchucks. They love the nunchucks. Because these turkeys were smart because they'd been trained in China and shipped over here to disrupt the Pilgrim elections. So they were essentially ninja turkeys with nunchucks. And George Soros, terrible guy, he paid for the turkeys to travel first class from China just to be here. It's quite a coincidence the Antifa turkeys happened to be here when the Pilgrims were here during their first election, just like this election. And the Pilgrims, as we all know, were peaceful people. And they were Bible people like me. They held up Bibles. I held up Bibles. In fact, they were having a peaceful protest to get around the mask mandate enforced by Chief Crazy Cuomo when the well-armed Antifa turkeys showed up and started attacking the Pilgrims for no reason. I saw the video. I posted it on Twitter, but it was taken down. The Pilgrims waving Trump flags bravely fought the Antifa turkeys because the Native American police wouldn't do their job. They wouldn't do their job. I wasn't there, but if I was, I would have sent in the National Guard. But the Pilgrims were able to catch and kill, which is the opposite of catch and release. Catch and release, which they did at the southern border under Obama, which I'm sure his ancestors were the community organizers from the turkeys that came over here on a ship from China. After the Battle of Pilgrim's Pride, the Native Americans started spreading fake news about the Pilgrims, killing the Antifa turkeys, saying they were the aggressors, which is not true. It's not true. It's lies. It's fake news. And that's why the Pilgrims killed the Native Americans, because they were spreading fake news. Fake news, back then, you could kill people because it was illegal. If you did fake news, so you could kill people. The Native Americans were the original fake news, by the way. They did it with smoke signals and pigeons and horses, and they would send it out, and the tribes would get it. And once the tribes had it, it was very difficult to correct it in the news, the Native American news, which was a big news organization at the time. And I think it's great that Kim Jong-un and Putin and Erdogan, they can kill fake news journalists, reporters, but I can't kill anybody. Is that fair? I don't think so. I should be able to kill a CNN reporter, at least at Thanksgiving, And the radical left has always interpreted Thanksgiving as a time to give thanks, which means you have to give thanks to the great, all-powerful God person who I'm very, very friendly with. But the radical leftists hate Thanksgiving because there is nothing they believe in except for hating America. They hate America. I love America. I love America. And you should always love the one you're with. And I'm with America. And you always hurt the one you love. But that's a totally different song. Why would they be thankful for this tremendous country? But they're not. They're just thankful for revolution. The left doesn't think there's anything they should be thankful for other than cancel culture, socialism, communism, and kale. And I had some once, and it tastes like carpet. It literally tastes like carpet. I don't know why anyone would eat kale. It's not even on the menu at any of my properties. You can't even get it. You can't even get it. But Thanksgiving is a time to come together, relax, watch some football where they don't kneel. And that's probably the best thing, non-kneeling football. But now they're taking Thanksgiving away because of the Kung flu. If you cannot gather in a group and eat turkey, then you can't be thankful, okay? Now, from what I've been told by the doctor people, the good doctor people, the ones I like, not the other ones, the COVID takes the holidays off. Now, I want you to have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Don't worry about COVID. Eventually, everyone's going to get it anyway. I mean, honestly, have you noticed how, pretty much anyone's going to get it? But it's going to disappear. And I would say I would be happy about the vaccines, but unfortunately, they're not giving me any credit. They're not giving me any credit. And I'm the one who practically invented the word vaccine. I'm really spearheading this research. That's why you're not seeing me a lot. I'm actually doing a lot of this research. And I think we all remember that the polio vaccine was actually called the President Eisenhower vaccine because he was the one who wanted to get rid of it. But instead, some low-level guy who got coffee named Nick Jonas Salk, he got credit for it. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm not going to pardon the Antifa turkeys this year, who, by the way, are named Numchuck. Instead, I'm pardoning the Southern generals who bravely fought against America in the Civil War. And hopefully we can pave the way to re-erect their statues and keep their names at our military bases. Thank you and happy Thanksgiving. Kaylee, have you seen Melania? Has she shown up yet? There's nothing more American than subscribing to my videos. If you don't subscribe, you're a communist and a loser. Subscribe. Oh, and hit the notification thing for the bells. Ding, 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 ding.